Good morning. I've one more month left here, and I think then I'm going to Spain, to the Basque country. Yeah, I might get an internship growing weed because, you know, you can't beat someone with a bit of experience to teach you like how to do these things and really shorten the journey. Because I'm after having a few attempts so far, I'm not very good. I'm not. It's not. So I think that's a good plan. The Basque country and learn how to grow weed. I had a strange day yesterday because I was reflecting on past relationships and how much they're affecting the choices that I'm making today. So these conceptual experiences, we will call them this, these conceptual experiences and how much they're impacting on the choices I make today, especially in relation to relationships. So I spent the day reflecting on them and changing my perception and changing the way I see them and changing them, yeah, changing my perception. Because even though we can't change the past, we can change our perception of it, which will impact on the choices that we make today. In now, which is the driving seat for life, which will impact on our future. So basically, was yesterday conducive to the goal? Yes, it absolutely was, because these the way that the perceptions of the past were impacting on my choices in the present, yes, is having what I believe to be an adverse effect. So I spent the day changing that. It's sort of like tuning the car, isn't it? Well, we could even say modifying the car. But yeah, and part of that then is I was thinking about Carl Jung. You know what Carl Jung says. That unless we make the unconscious conscious, it will determine our lives, and we will call it fate. Now, quotes and affirmations are all well and good. I've no problem with quotes and affirmations as long as you understand them and as long as you understand the profound knowledge that's been expressed here, and not just use them as a thing to resonate with you and make you feel good or rationalize your feelings in the moment, or sit in a fucking class listening to this shit and you feel empowered and then get up and you do fuck all. Do you know what I mean? You do fuck all to change fuck all, because you don't make the unconscious conscious. You just say, oh, that's great, that's wonderful, you make the unconscious conscious, but you do fuck all. Do you know what I mean? You do fuck all in relation to this. You don't actually make any fucking effort. Uh, you don't make any effort to try and utilize these things. Do you understand me? You have to make an effort. An effort. If you're going to get anywhere at all, you have to make. So, as I said to the Italian man hanging out at the bar, make some sort of a fucking effort. But anyway, as I said, that's how I spent my day. So with this in mind, I'd like to say that unless you make the unconscious conscious, it will determine your life, and you will call it fate. This is quite deep, because this goes across a number of things, not just changing your perceptions about the past, which I just found to be an issue with me, because I found that the perceptions I have of certain relationships were impacting on the choices I made in relation to relationships today. So I'm going to change this with immediate effect. I actually started yesterday, but it's also what else is within your control to make the unconscious conscious. Well, you could choose to cling to a dream. You could choose to cling to a vision or a thought or an organising idea, and you could choose to cling to that and act upon it. But of course, that's not a choice if you're full of fear, if you're neurotic. How the fuck? Like, because that is within our control. Selection and maintenance of the aim is within our control. To select an aim and aim for it, and have all our actions then directed towards one thing, and then you're not wasting your life wandering around like a headless chicken, or as I say, stumbling blindly through life, or letting everybody else impact on creating you. Let everybody else create you, and let everybody else harness you up to achieve their ends. Let that be whatever job that may be, whatever it may be, serving chips or managing a hotel, or whatever that job may be. Is it somebody else's agenda, or is it yours? Is it mutually beneficial? Is it towards your goals, your dreams, or have you let your goals and dreams go? Because I never let any of mine go. But as I say, that's a personal thing, it depends on your nature, but I'm just saying that if it's in your nature to be strong enough to be able to act on these things, is fear stopping you? Have you become neurotic because of past conceptual experiences and the way you respond to them and the way you perceive them? And I'll come to this in a second. And how is this like? Because how can you select and maintain a name if you're doing well to be able to go to the toilet on your own? Do you know what I mean? And then you have to ask yourself how this neuroticism is affecting everybody else. For example, if you're saying to somebody else, "Oh, I don't like your behavior," well, that's your fucking problem. That's your problem to work on. And if you don't like my behavior, by all means, fuck off. You know what I mean? You can sit somewhere else. You can sit on your own in the room, but or you can adapt and overcome. But basically, when you're neurotic and you're full of fear, like this is very much a lot of feminist movement, and they just decide we're going to not control ourselves, we're not going to address our own shortcomings, but we're going to try and control the men, and we're going to impose laws and sanctions and reduce them to a weak and sickly animal. This is modern society, but it's not just the women. This is the weak. This is the weak. But we're going to tame the strong. We're going to medicate them. We're going to impose sanctions on them. We're going to make rules as to what is socially acceptable behaviour. But we are going to tame the animal. This is what Nietzsche called the taming of man, resulting in what is now a fulfilled prophecy of Nietzsche's last man, a weak and sickly animal, completely neurotic and getting more and more so, which is not very conducive to the evolutionary process. But anyway, so let's talk about some of these fears. First of all, there's the fear of death, which I'll talk about in a second, but that can be faced by changing your perception of death, by an understanding of life, by an understanding of nature, which I have tried to give you, and you can reject and refuse it if all you want, or you can actually seek to understand. But I did encourage you several times to think for yourself, but for in order to think for yourself, you have to give some real contemplation to death. The Stoics reckon you should contemplate death every day. I don't have a choice in it, but it doesn't bother me anymore. I'm very comfortable with death. I can assure you that I'm very comfortable with death. I absolutely don't fear it. As one lad said to me before, I nearly welcome it, but I don't welcome it because as my ma said when I asked my ma, "Are you afraid to die, ma?" She said, "No, but I like it here." And I'm the same. I'm not afraid to die, but I like it here. I have things to do. I actually say I have things to do, and I do have things to do. But sure, I don't fear death, so it doesn't impact on me doing those things. I absolutely don't fear the perceptions of others. I think that's perfectly evident here when I make these videos. I couldn't give two fucks for your opinions. Or as the American girl said to me the other day, maybe if you stop cursing, more people will watch your videos. And I said, give a fuck about whether they watch my videos or don't watch my videos. I just do my work and listen to the universe, but I most certainly won't be playing to their perceptions. Absolutely not, because that is completely, that would be like, okay, I might be accused of some hypocrisy, but that's only to encourage you to think for yourselves. But that would be the absolute hypocrite. Like, that would be no is the answer there. But anyway, maybe you can understand what I'm saying. Now, and the next thing then I realised so that's death and the perceptions of others. And then it came to the realisation the other night from a conversation I had with a girl that a big fear for women appears to be rape. And this appears to be a big fucking fear. And all I can say about this is you have to seek to understand nature, because I, of course, could say to her what a lot of people might say to her. I might say, for example, if I ran self-defense classes, or self-defense classes. Learn how to fight if you want to fight. You have to learn how to fight, but learn how to fight. Don't just go and do like the fucking affirmations and modern stoicism. It does not work. You have to actually learn how to fight. So maybe a little bit of competition where you actually fight. But I suggest maybe something like Muay Thai or kickboxing. But fight. Not just you do this and I do this, you do this and I do this, which is far removed from reality and just creates Dunning-Kruger syndrome. I've seen this for years on the doors. People used to come up to me and say, oh, I do karate. And I say, I'll tell you what you do, fuck off. Fuck off. I'm sick saving cunts like you. You know what I mean? Because they think they're fucking, they wanna practice what they learned on a Saturday and they make a complete fucking balls of it, and then you have to go in and save them. But they have this false sense of ability. Their ego exceeds their ability. Because they get this delusion that what they do in the classroom is fighting, and it's not fighting. Fighting is kick, bollock and bite. And that's, I don't see any of that in their self-defense classes. It's kick, bollock and bite. I learned that as a child. Anyway, now, what was I going to say about the rape? Yeah, rape actually is when you actually seek to understand nature. Rape is the savage act of creation. That's exactly what rape is. The savage act of creation. As I say, if you look at a yard full of cats, you'll see a cat getting raped 3 times in a day. It's the savage act of creation. And some people have not evolved to a certain stage. They have not evolved past that stage, because we cannot all evolve at the same rate. As I said, we can't all fit through the gate together. And you have to accept that some people have not evolved past the animalistic stages, the animalistic instincts, and learning how to control those animalistic instincts. And you have to accept this, that this is nature, that some people have not evolved past this point. But what the samurais used to do, was imagine themselves sit and meditate, and imagine themselves being cut to bits, 1,000 bits, with a samurai sword, and used to imagine this at length. And used to imagine this every day, being sliced up, being cut up with a samurai sword. And then when they went to war, they have faced this in their mind through lucid dreams and in their mind so many times that the thoughts of this and the thoughts of this when it comes upon them, this someone is attacking them with the sword, they get this idea, oh, I'm going to be sliced to bits. They have faced this 1,000 times. They are perfectly comfortable with this. They do not fear this. They have sat with this. They have accepted this. They are comfortable with this. They say, that's not a problem. I faced this many times. This causes me no fear, which then allows them to have no fear and to respond appropriately, to respond using reason, as they teach you in the fighting, to teach you how to keep your head and choose your response even under pressure. Snowflakes melt under pressure. But this is, so you have to learn. So then, like this girl getting their dreams and calling them nightmares. No, she's getting an opportunity to sit with this, to think about this, to accept this as a part of life and not fear this. She's getting an opportunity to overcome this fear, but she's not taking this opportunity to overcome this fear. She's treated exactly as you know, she's not choosing a response. She's not choosing to dwell on this, to accept this as part of life, and to deal with it in her mind. As I said, you've been given an opportunity that causes you no physical harm, but you're not taking advantage of this opportunity. And then, when you don't get the message stays getting louder. Why does the message stay getting louder? Because this is where the whole manifestation comes in. If you have a fear, and you are being conditioned for a certain role in life, nature will make you face every fear, as it did with me. No food, no money, no this, no that, no driving license, no everything. I have faced, I can't think of any more fears that I have to face, because I don't have any more fears. But if I have a fear, that was caused of actually yesterday I had a fear of maybe commitment or relationship. What the fuck do you call that? I don't know. But I've been dealing with that yesterday, as I said, reflecting on past relationships and how they're affecting my choices today. So I suppose, yes, but I'm addressing this one last thing. I suppose when you dig deep enough, there's always some little fear. But I'm working on it. I've dug deep for this, and I'm working on this. But so I'm saying you have to first of all understand nature, but don't go buying yourself a can of mace and taking up the kickboxing classes, because this is only treating the symptoms. You first of all must treat the cause. And then if you feel that you're going to be in a situation where you're putting yourself in danger, then buy your can of mace or do your kickboxing or your Muay Thai. I'm fairly confident I'm going to be putting myself in these situations, so I will be doing Muay Thai given the opportunity. Now, the girl the other night, again, she was being given an opportunity to overcome her fear of toxic masculinity because I was showing her how to be assertive and how to respond. But also demonstrating that I wasn't angry, because if I was angry, it'd take me hours to cool down. But she decided to do an Irish exit, go off for a piss and not come back. But that's a response. Hey, listen, I may go.